In the world of professional wrestling, one of the most talked about topics is the transformation of wrestlers' physiques, particularly when it comes to the use of performance-enhancing drugs like steroids. The industry, especially during the 1980s and 1990s, was known for its exaggerated muscle-bound physiques, and many wrestlers, past and present, have faced speculation about their use of steroids. Some wrestlers have openly admitted to using them, while others have vehemently denied it. However, certain physical changes and stories surrounding their transformations cannot be ignored. 1. Chris Masters. Chris Masters made his WWE debut in the early 2000s and quickly became known for his jaw-dropping physique. With his bulging muscles and impressive stature, Masters appeared to embody the ideal wrestling body, resembling a real-life action figure. His transformation was both rapid and extreme, leading many fans and commentators to speculate about the methods behind his impressive size. Within a short period, Masters had gone from being in decent shape to a highly muscular powerhouse, and the change raised several questions. Rumors quickly circulated, with many speculating that Masters had resorted to steroid use to achieve such rapid muscle growth. His physique seemed almost too perfect, sparking suspicion that he may have been using performance enhancers. Triple H, a veteran of the business who was known for being outspoken about the pressures of the industry, was reportedly aware of what was happening backstage. Masters himself later discussed the immense pressure that WWE placed on its talent to maintain an ideal body type. He revealed that he was constantly aware of the need to keep up with the physique standards set by the company, especially during an era when steroid use was widespread in the wrestling world. While Masters never publicly confirmed using steroids, he acknowledged the pressure to maintain a muscular appearance to succeed in WWE. This transformation remains one of the most notable examples of the physical pressures that new talent in WWE faced during the height of the steroid culture in professional wrestling. 2. Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson was one of the most physically imposing wrestlers of the 1990s, earning a reputation for his massive and muscular physique. He was often regarded as one of the strongest men in wrestling at the time, with his imposing figure helping him stand out among the WWE roster. Johnson's size and strength were key components of his in-ring persona, and his raw power made him a fan favorite. However, as his career progressed, fans began to notice significant changes in his body. His once imposing muscular build began to shrink, and his physique no longer had the same level of definition. Johnson himself later admitted that steroid use was commonplace in the wrestling business during that time. In interviews, he stated that many wrestlers viewed steroids as a necessary evil in order to remain competitive in the industry. If a wrestler wanted to stay relevant in the 1990s, having a massive muscular physique was almost a prerequisite, and steroids were often seen as the way to achieve that. After leaving WWE in 2000, Johnson debuted in WCW as Big T, but it was clear that his physique had undergone a dramatic shift. The significant loss of muscle mass fueled the belief that steroids had played a major role in his early success. Johnson's body transformation over the years highlighted the damaging long-term effects of steroid use and the pressures that wrestlers faced in maintaining their physical stature. As time went on, Johnson's physique continued to deteriorate, which seemed to coincide with his distancing from the sport and, presumably, from steroid use. His story is a tragic reflection of the toll that steroid use can take on a wrestler's body, especially when the pressure to look a certain way becomes overwhelming. 3. Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero's tragic death in 2005 remains one of the most heartbreaking stories in the world of professional wrestling. Guerrero was a beloved figure, known not only for his incredible technical wrestling skills, but also for his charisma and larger-than-life persona. He was in great shape during his time in WWE, but like many wrestlers in the early 2000s, Guerrero felt the pressure to maintain a physique that matched the company's standards. As Guerrero's WWE career progressed, it was reported that he began using steroids to keep up with the larger-than-life stars of the company. His transformation over time was noticeable, with his once more natural physique becoming more muscular. Unfortunately, this steroid use contributed to some serious health complications, including an enlarged heart, which ultimately led to his untimely death. Guerrero's cause of death was officially listed as acute heart failure, which was linked to his history of steroid use. While steroids were not the sole cause of his death, they certainly played a significant role in his health issues. Guerrero's death sent shockwaves through the wrestling world, as he had been a fan favorite and a beloved figure in WWE. His story serves as a somber reminder of the long-term health risks associated with steroid use in professional wrestling. Guerrero had battled personal demons, including drug addiction, but it is widely acknowledged that steroid use contributed to the decline in his health and was a factor in his tragic passing at the age of 38. His death highlighted the dangerous culture surrounding body image and performance-enhancing drugs in the industry. Fourth, Jordynne Grace. While steroid use in wrestling has predominantly been associated with male athletes, women in the industry have also faced scrutiny regarding their physiques. One such example is Jordynne Grace, a highly accomplished wrestler known for her powerful, muscular build. Grace has been praised for her strength and athleticism, with her physique standing out in the world of women's wrestling, where body image standards often prioritize more traditional, slender forms. Grace's transformation over the years has led to speculation about her use of steroids or other performance-enhancing drugs. As her career progressed, fans began to notice that her body had become more muscular and defined, with her strength and size becoming central components of her wrestling persona. Additionally, some have pointed to changes in her voice, which has become deeper over time, as a possible sign of increased testosterone levels, a known side effect of steroid use. While Grace has not openly confirmed or denied the rumors surrounding her use of performance enhancers, the speculation continues to follow her. As a female wrestler with a more muscular, masculine physique, Grace faces a unique set of challenges. Women in wrestling have often had to contend with the pressure to look a certain way in order to succeed, and Grace's more muscular build sets her apart from many of her peers. The speculation around her body transformation reflects broader conversations about gender, body image, and the use of performance-enhancing drugs in women's wrestling. Like many male wrestlers, Grace faces constant pressure to maintain a certain physique in order to stay competitive and relevant in the business. But whether or not steroids played a role in her transformation remains unclear. Maven's rise to WWE stardom was an unconventional one, as he entered the company after winning the reality show Tough Enough. His athleticism and physical condition were evident from the start, but it wasn't long before he revealed on his YouTube channel that backstage pressures encouraged him to use steroids to bulk up. Maven openly admitted that subtle hints and nudges from others in WWE's locker room led him to start using steroids. His transformation was evident. After suffering an injury, Maven returned to WWE looking significantly larger, with muscles that were much more defined and bulkier than his previous, more natural physique. This change in Maven's appearance was largely attributed to his use of performance enhancers. The shift was so noticeable that fans and fellow wrestlers alike commented on how much larger Maven had gotten, which highlighted the pressures placed on new wrestlers in the company. During the Attitude Era, WWE placed a heavy emphasis on larger-than-life physiques, and it was clear that physical size played a critical role in determining success. Maven's story is emblematic of the pressures many wrestlers face when they enter WWE, especially during a time when steroid use was rampant in the industry and body image was heavily emphasized. Maven's personal confession adds a layer of transparency to the often unspoken world of steroid use in wrestling. 6. Dynamite Kid, known for his incredible technical wrestling ability, is regarded as one of the most influential figures in wrestling history. He helped revolutionize the in-ring style of professional wrestling, particularly through his high-flying and hard-hitting approach. However, despite his immense skill, Dynamite Kid's journey was not without its darker elements. In the early stages of his career, Kid, who was shorter and lighter than many of his contemporaries, was introduced to steroids in an effort to gain size and strength. Dynamite Kid's steroid use became a significant part of his story, but it came at a great cost. Despite his success in the ring, the long-term effects of steroid use began to take a serious toll on his health. In 1991, Kid was diagnosed with an enlarged heart, a condition directly linked to his steroid use. Doctors informed him that continuing to use steroids could lead to his premature death. Although he stopped using steroids after this warning, the damage had already been done. His body never fully recovered, and he continued to suffer from health problems that ultimately cut his wrestling career short. Dynamite Kid's story serves as a cautionary tale about the long-term consequences of steroid use in professional wrestling. While steroids may have helped him in the short term to build a more imposing physique and gain an edge in a highly competitive industry, they left him with lasting health issues that affected him for the rest of his life. His tale underscores the dangers of steroid use and the physical sacrifices that many wrestlers made in pursuit of the ideal wrestling body during the height of steroid culture in the 1980s and 1990s. 7. Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal's transformation during his second stint with WWE is one of the most dramatic and widely discussed in recent years. During his first run in WWE, Mahal was in decent shape, but far from the bodybuilder physique that would come to define his later career. When he returned to WWE in 2016, however, Mahal's appearance had drastically changed. He was significantly more muscular, with a shredded physique that seemed to have come out of nowhere. His transformation led to widespread speculation that he had used steroids or other performance-enhancing drugs to achieve such rapid muscle growth. Fans began to notice several physical signs commonly associated with steroid use, such as acne and enlarged breast tissue, a symptom of gynecomastia, which is often linked to steroid use. Despite these observations, Mahal has consistently denied using steroids and has attributed his new physique to hard work in the gym and a rigorous diet. He has even gone so far as to state that his transformation was the result of proper training and nutrition, rather than performance enhancers. The controversy surrounding Jinder Mahal's transformation highlights the skepticism and debate that often accompanies dramatic physical changes in the wrestling world. While some fans are convinced that steroids were responsible for his new look, others believe that his muscle gains were simply the result of disciplined training and a new focus on fitness. Regardless of the truth, Mahal's transformation has sparked discussions about the pressures that wrestlers face to meet certain body standards in WWE, as well as the broader issue of steroid use in the industry. Vince McMahon, the chairman and CEO of WWE, is not only one of the most influential figures in the history of professional wrestling, but he is also a key part of the steroid discussion. In the early 1990s, McMahon became embroiled in a steroid scandal when he was accused of distributing steroids to WWE wrestlers, leading to the infamous steroid trial of 1994. This trial rocked the wrestling world, as it brought to light the extent to which steroids were used within WWE. McMahon himself admitted to using steroids before they were banned in 1990, but his personal steroid use has remained a topic of controversy and speculation. McMahon's physique in the 1980s and 1990s was impressive, especially for someone in his 40s. He became known for his muscular build, which appeared to be a result of bodybuilding, and his larger-than-life presence in the ring. Given McMahon's leadership role in WWE, his own muscular transformation led many to speculate about his use of performance enhancers. After the steroid trial, McMahon's physique appeared to change. His once-defined muscular body became less prominent, leading some fans to believe that he stopped using steroids after the trial. While McMahon's steroid use has never been fully confirmed beyond his admission in the trial, his physical transformation and the subsequent decline in his muscularity have kept the topic alive among fans and critics. As the face of WWE and a key figure in the steroid scandal, McMahon's involvement with performance enhancers remains a significant part of the conversation surrounding the culture of steroids in professional wrestling. 9. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is perhaps the most iconic and recognizable wrestler in history, and his association with steroids has long been a topic of conversation. During the 1980s, Hogan was the face of WWE and the epitome of the larger-than-life wrestler. His physique was enormous, with bulging muscles and a towering presence that helped solidify his status as a pop culture phenomenon. Despite his denials, many fans and industry observers have speculated that Hogan used steroids to achieve such a size, as his body was a textbook example of the steroid-fueled physique that dominated the wrestling world during that era. Hogan himself has long denied using steroids, but in the 1990s, during the infamous steroid trial, he was forced to admit in court that he had used steroids. While Hogan had been a vocal critic of steroid use in the past, his admission further solidified the connection between steroid use and the bodybuilding culture of professional wrestling. After a lengthy absence from WWE in the 1990s, Hogan returned with a noticeably slimmer physique, fueling rumors that he had stopped using steroids during his time away from the company. Despite this admission, Hogan's legacy as one of the most iconic wrestlers in history remains intact. His larger-than-life persona and his role in WWE's global expansion helped make wrestling a mainstream entertainment phenomenon. However, his steroid use and subsequent admission have left a permanent mark on his legacy, further illustrating the deep connection between steroids and the wrestling business during the 1980s and 1990s. The Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior is an iconic figure in professional wrestling, known for his colorful face paint, high-energy persona, and muscular physique. He became one of WWE's top stars during the late 1980s and early 1990s, gaining a reputation for his intense, high-impact style in the ring. His physique, which was notably larger and more muscular than most of his peers, was a defining characteristic of his character. However, after a bitter dispute with WWE management in 1991, Warrior's career took a significant turn. When he returned to WWE in 1992, fans immediately noticed a dramatic change in his appearance. The once ripped and incredibly muscular Warrior appeared to have slimmed down considerably. The noticeable reduction in his size and muscle mass sparked rumors and speculation. Some fans even went as far as to suggest that the Warrior who returned was not the same person, but an imposter who had replaced him after his death. While these conspiracy theories were eventually debunked, the change in Warrior's physique became a key topic of discussion. Many speculated that the slimming down was a result of Warrior ceasing his use of steroids, which had been rampant in the wrestling industry at the time. His earlier appearance had been characterized by a larger-than-life, almost cartoonish level of muscularity, which many believe was achieved with the help of performance-enhancing drugs. This transformation became part of the Ultimate Warrior's legacy and reinforced the idea of the extreme pressures that professional wrestlers face when it comes to maintaining an idealized physique. Wrestlers like Warrior are often under intense pressure to appear larger than life, which often leads to the use of steroids and other performance enhancers. The Ultimate Warrior's dramatic physical change after his return to WWE is one of the most well-known examples of how steroid use, or the cessation of it, can alter a wrestler's body and career. 11. Brian Cage. Brian Cage, nicknamed The Machine, is another modern wrestler whose physique has raised eyebrows among fans and commentators. Known for his incredibly muscular and chiseled body, Cage's transformation into a powerhouse figure has led to widespread speculation about the potential use of performance-enhancing drugs. Before his rise to prominence in promotions like AEW and Impact Wrestling, Cage was already a physically imposing figure, but over time, his body became almost inhuman in its size and definition. Fans and industry observers have pointed out that Cage's musculature seems almost too perfect, leading some to wonder if steroids or other performance enhancers played a role in his physical transformation. His size and vascularity, often cited as signs of steroid use, mirror those of other wrestlers who have openly admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs during their careers. However, despite these visual cues, Cage has not publicly confirmed or denied these speculations. Some fans attribute his impressive physique to rigorous weightlifting and genetics, while others remain unconvinced and point to his dramatic transformation as a typical sign of steroid use. What makes Cage's situation particularly interesting is the modern awareness of steroid use in wrestling. In the past, the industry often turned a blind eye to such matters, but today, there are stricter testing policies and increased public scrutiny. This means that Cage's transformation into a larger-than-life wrestler is often viewed through the lens of skepticism. While it remains unclear whether Cage used performance enhancers, his case highlights the pressures on wrestlers to maintain an extreme physique in a business where appearance is often as important as in-ring ability. 12. Triple H. Triple H, one of the most influential and successful figures in WWE history, has long been associated with rumors of steroid use, largely due to his muscular physique and dedication to bodybuilding. Throughout his career, Triple H's body has remained remarkably consistent in its size and definition, which has contributed to the speculation that steroids may have played a role in his physique. His impressive build has been one of his defining characteristics, making him stand out among the roster of WWE superstars. However, there was a period in the early 2000s when Triple H's body seemed to undergo a noticeable change. His previously muscular frame appeared to slim down slightly, and some speculated that this change was due to a cessation of steroid use. Reports circulated that Triple H had stopped using steroids during this time, possibly because he and his wife, Stephanie McMahon, were trying to start a family. Some wrestlers, including Scott Steiner, allegedly pushed for Triple H to undergo drug testing, further fueling the rumors about his potential steroid use. While Triple H has never publicly confirmed or denied the use of steroids, these persistent rumors have remained part of his legacy. Triple H is known for his meticulous attention to his physical condition, and his body has always appeared to be a product of hard work and dedication. However, the whispers of steroid use continue to linger, especially given the era in which he rose to prominence. an era when steroid use was rampant in the business. Despite this, Triple H's ability to maintain such a high level of performance throughout his career, without ever fully acknowledging steroid use, adds another layer of intrigue to the ongoing conversation about steroid use in wrestling. 13. Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner, famously known as Big Papa Pump, is another wrestler whose transformation into a muscular powerhouse has been the subject of intense scrutiny. Known for his outlandish personality and brash demeanor, Steiner's physique also became one of his trademarks. In the 1990s, Steiner was already a solidly built wrestler, but it was during his time in WCW in the late 90s that his physique underwent a drastic change. His muscles grew significantly larger, and his body seemed to be in a state of near-constant bulk. This dramatic physical transformation led to widespread speculation about his use of steroids. Steiner's body, which appeared almost unnaturally large, set him apart from many other wrestlers in the industry. Fans and critics alike took notice of the extreme nature of his transformation, with many pointing to steroids as the probable cause. Steiner himself has been candid about the pressures of the wrestling business, especially during the 1990s, when larger-than-life physiques were highly coveted by promoters. While Steiner has not outright confirmed his steroid use, the changes in his body are striking and have become part of his larger-than-life persona. What sets Steiner apart from others in this discussion is the stark contrast between his earlier and later appearances. His transformation was one of the most extreme in wrestling history, and it serves as a clear example of how the use of performance-enhancing drugs can have a dramatic effect on a wrestler's physique. Despite this, Steiner's legacy in wrestling is secure, and his muscular frame became an iconic image in the business, forever associating him with the idea of physical dominance in professional wrestling.